morning, everyone. Welcome. I've been on a little 2-week break, trying to get some rest. But you queens, you can't do without me. Last week I had somebody call me, I think it must have been about 6 or 7 minutes past 7, to ask me, are you not Zooming today? And the week before that, it was the same thing. So I'm back. I'm back, raring to go. I'll be on for a few weeks. I'm going to be doing a bit of Zoom, and then we'll be doing some outside events, which I'll tell you about. So thank you all for coming onto the platform this morning. 8 o'clock, that's how we queens like to roll. Early morning riding. Fantastic. I know what they say, early bird catches the worm. And we got some good, should I say worms? We got some good information, some good medicine. Call it what you want. We've got some. Queens like to roll. Early morning riding. Right, I can hear something echoing here. Is everybody?
It's me.
Okay. So are we ready to roll? So thank you, Rudy and Leon, technical guys in the background, helping me to make this all happen. So what do I say every week? For the newbies, have your pens, pads, notebooks, everything ready. Yeah, everything ready. Please post any questions into the chat, and I'll try my best to moderate whilst I'm doing all the other bits and pieces. There'll be a Q&A at the end, so you'll have an opportunity to ask any of our wonderful presenters on the platform any questions. Yes? So once again, hi, welcome, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. You are in such a fantastic, wonderful space. We're so glad that you decided this morning this was the place to be. And it really is. This is the place to be. So can I get a thumbs up? I know some of you are still in your bed. Yes. Headscarf on, under the quilt. Yes. But you can still enjoy yourself, and you might get so excited, you might run and get yourself all tidied up because you want to be on camera to ask a question. So, welcome. Thank you, everybody. I've got a few announcements. So Queens and Rudy J Media, we're actually going to be moving to do a lot more outside events. So you won't see me on the platform every week, but when I can be, we will be here. So Queens and Rudy J Media, we have our first summer cultural market taking place in Beckenham Place Mansion, which is Beckenham Place Park, Beckenham, BR3 1SY. And a lot of you who've been regularly on the platform will know once a month we do a virtual marketplace where we have an array of our fantastic Black businesses come onto the platform and showcase their products and services. So we're actually going to be moving it off the platform now and into a physical environment. And we have got the Mansion House. It's an absolutely beautiful, ornate building. I'm so excited. I'm so pleased that we're going to be we're kind of like stepping up our game, yeah, which is what it's about. So wherever you are, please come out and support us. It's going to be on the 3rd of July, Saturday, 3rd of July at Beckenham Place Mansion, Beckenham Place Park. So that's where we'll be Saturday, 3rd of July, yeah. We've also been asked to host a business conference for Africa Fashion Week. So those of you who've seen me do the platforms, and I've done Queen's International Black Hair Rocks, Queen's Black Hair Rocks, done quite a few Zoom sessions about our beautiful hair. We've been asked to take that as well off the platform into a physical environment. So we'll be doing that on the 13th and 14th of August. It's going to be, oh gosh, I'm so excited. This building is going to be held at the Freemasons in Covent Garden. So 13th and 14th of August. Anyone who's in the hair, fashion and beauty industry, please, please, please get in touch with me, because we're looking for vendors. And it's really about, again, showcasing all our fantastic, individuals in this particular industry. So that's something else that I'm really, really, really excited about. Can't wait. So that again is on the 13th and 14th of August. So Rudy, we'll be posting things into the chat. So you can, you know, pick up the dates. My number will go into the chat as well. So, you know, hook me up, please hook me up. So what have the Queens been doing? The Queens, we have done an array of things. About 2 weeks ago, we had a really powerful, powerful session, one of the Queen's Health Talks. And it was the Queen's Health Talk, Our Kings and Prostate Cancer. And I'm telling you, the ripple effect of that event, powerful, powerful again. I had a call from Erin McKellar, who was one of the presenters on the platform. And even though we didn't have a lot of men, somehow the men were getting the message. He had 35 men contact him. And out of the 35, there are 10 that he's working with now. And what I always say, you know, every week, no matter what subject we're doing, if it helps one person, I say, thank you, Jesus. Yeah. I always say that because this is what we're about. It's about community. It's about love. Right now, we are putting our arms around our community in a number of different ways. So I'm really pleased, you know, that we were able to touch so many men in our community, even though they don't really come onto the platform. So we're going to be doing a lot more health talks. So, you know, we're going to try and fit them in as we try and head towards our freedom, because they're looking at giving us our freedom. So what's coming up? We're going to be doing a session, I'm not sure when, our beautiful, rich, dark melanin. Yeah. Should skincare be colorblind? And I've picked that subject because I was out the other day going to a meeting, and I was reading in the newspaper about, you know, there are these mainstream companies, I don't want to call anybody's names, but they're making products now for our skin. And I'm thinking, you know, as a Black woman, what would they really know about our melanin, our beautiful, rich, dark, lush melanin skin? So we're going to be having a conversation about that because we need to talk. We need to uncover some of the myths that's going on here. We need to talk. But today, we did a session back in April called Queens Loving Ourselves, Mind, Body and Soul. And Queens, what a session that was. It rocked. The after chat, they had me on the platform, I think it must have been nearly midday, because it was just so vibrant and rich. And, you know, the feedback, you know, when a lot of the women came off the platform, they were just kind of like ready to just bust. They were so uplifted. And this is what these sessions are about in the morning. It's about upliftment, empowerment. Yeah. And that's what we're about. Yes, so we have some amazing, wonderful Zoom sessions coming up. But like I said before, we're going to be kind of like, you might see me one week, you might not see me another week. So don't call me at 7 o'clock in the morning to ask me if I'm Zooming, because I'll only be sleeping, I'll probably be out. Yeah, but we'll let you know. So to hear about future walking group, Queen's walking group events on Zoom, please follow us on Eventbrite because you get the notification. Just to make you all aware, this Zoom will be recorded. It is being recorded, and it's also being uploaded, being recorded up onto YouTube. So anything you've missed, you know, you watch this and you might have a friend, tell your friend, it's all on YouTube. Queen's 2020 Lockdown Series. It's on Facebook now, being live streamed. We Love Health and Wellbeing page. Yeah. So we got it going on. We got it going on. So have your pens and paper, notebooks ready. So let's get into today's session. Queens loving ourselves, mind, body, soul, spiritually. Get comfy. It's time to merge our minds, body, souls, and our spirits. Queens, this morning's session will be of divine, heavenly healing and meditation to purify your soul by releasing what no longer serves you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Queens, as we explore to understand how we can heal our body and our lives by harnessing the power of our mind. If you're interested in holistic well-being and want to take your physical, emotional, and spiritual health into your own hands, this is the place to discover your inner healing power. Guest speakers, they are all in the house. They are ready to go. So I'm going to call you all out just to say a quick hello, and then we're going to kick off. So beautiful Teak, you say a quick hello to the people for me. If you'll mute yourself, my darling.
Good morning, Sugar Dumplings. How are you? I'm looking forward to having a chat and helping raise that vibration.
Oh yes, and you're gonna lift them up. They're gonna be floating. Beautiful Claudine.
Good morning, ladies. I'm really happy to be here, my first time here, so looking forward to it.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
And gorgeous, radiant Angela.
Hi, good morning, ladies. Good morning, Queens. I'm really excited about being here. Like Claudine, it's my first time, and I've been excited since you invited me. So I can't wait to hear and have a chat and just engage. I just love being around our beautiful women. So thank you for the invitation.
We're powerful, we're powerful. Nelsa, my darling, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good morning, Queens. I'm happy to be here. This is part 2, so I was on part 1. I cannot wait to share all about feminine power.
Oh, bless you. And wonderful Antoinette, where are you, my darling? AKA Queen Esther, are you here? I'm sure I've seen you. Are you here, Antoinette? Are you here? Well, I'm sure I've seen her. Right, so let us kick off then.
Yeah, Antoinette's there. I can see her now.
All right. Okay.
Unmute yourself, Antoinette,
unmute
please.
yourself, my darling.
Hello?
Just to say a quick
it wasn't working.
Okay.
Hi,
Good morning, my darling. Good morning. So we're going to kick off with our vessel of divine light, the beautiful Teak, with a purpose mission to impact millions of lives, to raise the vibrations on this planet. Teak helps people who have experienced trauma get out of physical and emotional pain. Teak is a sound healer, Reiki master and teacher, transformational coach, speaker, allowing the divine to channel through the throat chakra. The Tika, aka Spiritual Teak, is a dynamic spiritual being originally from Los Angeles, California, then transplanted here into the UK to be with us, beautiful queens. Teak's love for spirituality originates from a Christian background, which transpired into an immense love for all religion, faiths, and beautiful, beautiful beings. Teak does a class on a Wednesday evening, and I'm telling you, Queen, you really need to hook up because it is so powerful. Teak has traveled around the world working with shamans and gurus to strengthen her connection to source, to enable her to give back to the world. And Teak is going to definitely give back this morning. Teak utilizes her natural gifts in conjunction with different spiritual modalities to assist people to live a higher version of themselves, which is how we should be living. This is through group work, workshops, or individual sessions. Teak has been a speaker at influencers events. Teak, you're international, aren't you, Queen? You are international. I'm going to hand over to you, my darling, and just lift the vibrations.
Well, thank you, Miss Joan. Good morning. Beautiful souls. Can I just see the chat box just put a bunch of hearts in there and show Miss Joan some love? Because we wouldn't be on this platform, Sugar Dumplings, if it wasn't for her. I just need to take a moment and acknowledge you, Miss Joan, because I really appreciate you turning up, you showing up for all these beautiful souls, you being the connector. You've heard me say that to you often. You are the connector. You bring us together. And by having such a strong, powerful, divine essence, what you're doing is you're serving. and you're putting that back out into the world where people may not have had access. And for that, I'm grateful. And as you can see, the chat box is lighting up with those hearts. I need to see some more hearts in the chat box. Sugar Dumplings, there's 80 plus people in here. Let me see it light up for this beautiful, beautiful lady that makes it happen time and time again every single week. So there's so much gratitude to you, Miss Jones. So thank you very much for inviting me again to part 2 to this beautiful platform about mind and body. And as you can see, the chat box, those hearts, I love it. Violet heart, red heart, divine white light heart. Yeah, get the black hearts in there too. Hey, sugar, all colors, we matter. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I just want to take a moment to acknowledge all you beautiful souls for getting up this morning, okay? Because I know you have your work schedules, you have life is in session, and in truth, sometimes your vibration, you're like, oh, I don't know if I feel like it. So if you've arrived, then just go ahead and give your own self some love, okay? Because we don't know how to do that sometimes. Sometimes we don't give ourselves love. Beautiful. Now, I don't even know that I need to introduce myself properly because Miss Joan has done it so beautifully. And I thank you for that. And as she said, you know, my name is Latika by birth. Thank you, Mama. But I do go by Spiritual Teak. Again, thank you, Mama. Because I feel like I literally was birthed back here and was like, oh, this again. Here we go. What I got to do now in the world? What is happening? And to have that sort of level of insight at such a young age, a lot was coming in and out in relation to that in terms of, do I really want to do this? Do I not really want to do this? But everyone has their own divine purpose and their truth that resides inside of them. And it's an energy. And you see, when Miss Jones started this call this morning, she started it with an energy. And that energy was relating to your own divine essence and how we feel. And instantly, if you were feeling a certain kind of way, you started grooving to the music. Even though I couldn't see y'all, I could feel y'all. And we started grooving to that music, right? And what does that do? That music starts to raise your vibration. And see, this morning, I'm on first. So two things may happen for sure. For sure, I might make you really deep relax. So for the other speakers, I apologize in advance. That is my disclaimer. Okay, because I do have a bit of a sound session in there for you. And then the other thing is I just want to give you a bit of knowledge about energy and in a way that I want you to understand it deeper. Now, for some of you beautiful souls on this call, you may be into this. You may have that level of insight, and that's beautiful. But everyone is moving in their own sort of vibration, and everyone, I like to say, spiritually remembering. And that's important. So I'll say write that down because that varies. Now, we're in a time in life where I believe that people are spiritually remembering who they are. And as divine vessels, and the shifts that are taking place on this planet, whether whatever spiritual background you are, whether you don't believe in something, you know that something is happening on this planet. And what you know is that your divine being, your essence can be impacted. And that is why it's so important to overstand. Here I'm not saying understand, to overstand the importance of the energy that we take in from others, that we absorb in the environment, that you create in your own right within your home environment, etc. Because all of that, beautiful souls, impact you. And if those of you who are on a spiritual journey or like, so I say spiritually remembering, then I have this spiritually curious. So maybe you're not necessarily on the journey yet, but you keep hearing all these terms about, you know, God, creator, all there is, and universe. And we're like, what are people talking about? What we're talking about is energy and a vibration, because I think we can all probably agree one thing for sure. As my mama say, two things for certain. I can't bring mama in. You know what? She must want me to call her. So let me listen to that essence as well. I'm like, okay, mom, chill. She's 8 hours behind me. But yeah, so, you know, one thing's for sure, when it comes to overstanding that energy and that vibration, it's being able to connect. Okay. And so here we're going to talk about the body. And Miss Joan already mentioned it in my bio. We're talking about the word trauma. And I don't mean to hit you with anything kind of heavy this early in the morning. So I won't go that deep in that word, because Miss Joan knows I have set rooms off, and it's a little too early for that, sugars. And we have a whole beautiful panel of other beautiful speakers that have so much to share with you. But I do need to mention in about those vibrations. Okay, so again, whether you are spiritually remembering and you acknowledge and you understand the different waves of energy and how it impacts us, or you're a newbie, this is all still very relevant. Okay, so let me just make sure I got you guys still awake. Can I get some movement going on in the chat box? I see Miss Joan. Miss Joan, you actually you are giving me the vibes because you are the biggest part of my screen right now. That's all I can see. I'm Miss Joan. She got it going on. That's right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So what I want to begin with is the body, and again mentioning that word trauma, but let me just step away from that word trauma for a second. Can you raise your hand or put a heart or put something in the comments if you've ever experienced any form of pain? Right? Of course. So that's a statement or question that all of us can agree that we have. Yes, we've experienced a form of pain, whether that has been physical, whether that has been emotional. We have all at some point in our life felt that energy and motion, that word pain. And you'll hear me say energy and motion quite often, sugar dumplings, because these emotions that we harness inside of the body, that's exactly what they are. They are energy. And breaking that down, energy in motion. And when we have situations where we have experienced pain or a traumatic situation that's caused physical pain and then leave the lasting effects of emotional pain, that gets stuck. And when it gets stuck, it impacts you on a multitude of levels. And most people, you think, okay, I was physically impacted. And those of you, some of you know what I'm talking about. You go through life and you think, well, that has resolved itself. I've moved past it. And then 5 or 10 years go and you're moving on and you're aging. And then you're thinking, yeah, but I let that go. And then something happens. And it may not even be as significant as the original event, but you are impacted. You feel something in your body. Maybe it's even a physical sensation that arises. And you're asking self, but hold on a minute. Why am I responding in this way? And that is because, beautiful souls, that energy, even though on a physical level, time may have moved you on and you may be doing different things, but that energy is now stored in your energy body, that energy in motion. And that's where I come in as a practitioner, because this topic that we're on, mind and body, well, really we say mind, body, and soul. Any practitioner out there that's, that work in that platform understands the importance of those three. But let's be honest, most people do not operate from those three areas. And being the practitioner that I am and the history that I've seen with my clients, even with my own spiritual growth and development over the years, because let's be honest, even though I said I woke up spiritual, I still live in the world. and the world is not necessarily the most high vibrational place. So of course, my own experiences of trauma in this lifetime had its impact, and I had to remove those layers before I agreed to lay hands on anyone, because I do believe in the vessel being clear so that I can make sure that I'm being the most let me use the word clear again, divine vessel for any spiritual being that come into my presence. And it's very important that even if something is happening, that I am able to connect, plug in to my God. I'm gonna say God, as you heard, I'm Christian background, but creator, universe, whatever it is you believe in, sugar dumplings. But it's very important that I'm able to plug in and clear out anything that's in the way before I lay hands. Very, very important. But being able to do that, sugars, it is about understanding what is happening for you and becoming more aware. And some of you may think that's a little bit more woo-woo spiritual, but it's not. Because here's what I want to do. I just want to take a moment. I'm going to reel off some words. And I want in the chat box for you to tell me where in your physical body you may have felt a sensation. And if you don't feel a sensation, that's okay. But I want to bring awareness to this energy body, okay? Because we're talking about moving interchangeably between the physical body and the energy body and that divine healing, okay? So let me pull this chat so I can see it. All right. So in a moment, not right now, but just do me a favor and close your eyes for a second. And the reason why I'm asking you to close your eyes is because when we have our eyes open, you know, we are taking in like 11 million pieces of information. So what is that? That's distraction. But what I want you to do in a moment, I'm going to turn up my little 432 hertz, right? 432 hertz, obviously that's a vibrational sound to bring you into calm. Well, for the moment, I just want you to, in this little activity, is to just flow with the rhythm of your own breath. And as you're flowing with that rhythm of your breath and being conscious of how you're breathing, because it's going to be important for the last part of my segment when we breathe together and I play the sound bowls. So how is your body moving? When you breathe, are you expanding into that diaphragm and doing that diaphragmic breathing? Or do you feeling like you're a bit chesty, that your shoulders are going up and you're expanding with your shoulders and the chest? Because if you are expanding, then try to bring the chest down and focus that energy back into the abdomen. So if I can help you flow, we're taking an inhale and you are expanding into your abdomen and just being mindful of that breath. And then we're slowly releasing and letting go any tension or anything in the body. Now that you're in this rhythmic sort of breathing, I'm going to say a couple of words and just hold those words in mind. And if there's any subtle sensation in any area of your body, I want you to recall that and note that. Okay, so on the count of 3, I'll give you your first word. 1, 2, 3. Disappointment. 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 Now that word disappointment, just notate for anyone that may have felt something inside of their body and where that was. I'll come to you in a moment. Let me put another word out. Love. 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 Beautiful. Notate if there is any subtle sensation. And then I'm going to say the word trauma. 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 Okay. I'm going to hold it there, beautiful souls. Now, let me just see some comments move. When I said the word disappointment, did anyone feel any sensation anywhere in their body? And if you have, let me see it ping in the comments now. Heart center. In the heart. In the mind. Okay. In the heart. I'm seeing hearts. I'm seeing mind. The stomach. Okay. Solar plexus. Here we go. Spiritualist right there. You felt a heart and wanted to cry. Powerful. Right shoulder, upper blade. Powerful. Heart, stomach. Okay. So for it says steward and heart. I'm assuming that means stomach. Left shoulder. Okay. Pause right there, beautiful souls. Right. So for the word disappointment, just me saying the word. Remember, we're talking about energy. That word has triggered physical sensations in your body. So what is that telling you? That is telling you that it's causing a physical manifestation of pain that is not released, that is not healed. And this is why it's important to be able to acknowledge even something as subtle as that. Now let me dive into, we're going to pause there, the word love. Where did you feel the word love? Did you feel any sensation in the word love? Let's see what's coming through. In the heart, okay, beautiful. In the chest, okay. So again, the heart area, beautiful. And the mind, that's beautiful too, actually. We're talking about crown chakra being plugged in. All over the body, calmness in the stomach and the gut. Okay, beautiful, 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 beautiful. And then finally, before I go a bit deeper, the word trauma, sugar dumplings. Oh, and heart, love made you smile. I love that. So the word trauma, and so Aisha, trauma, did it activate your jaw? And if it did, what sensation did you have? I just wanted to highlight that. Okay, so the word trauma in the heart. Anywhere else, sugars? Across the shoulders, okay? The heart and solar plexus, numbness. Interesting, powerful. Lower stomach, sacral chakra, okay. Okay. Feet, okay? Some people couldn't feel anything in words of trauma. Perfect. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for participating in that exercise. The point of me doing that exercise here on this platform is to reiterate how when we are not conscious of things that are happening in our life, how things are still in motion. And all of these areas, and thank you again for all of the people who have shared, and for those who may not have shared but may relate, this is for all of us. What you have just witnessed is these words still holding an energy in your body. And what will happen is, so I got lower stomach. So let me talk about that's the last thing I see. Let me talk about the lower stomach at present. So some of you may be aware of these energy centers in the body. And these energy centers in the body, the chakras, okay? Now, depending on what school of thought that you are learning from, you can have a number of chakras, but I'm going to speak from the number 7, which most people are aware of. So in the sacral chakra, I call this place your second brain, okay? And this is where we hold and store. When people have blockages in this area, in this energy, so the last thing we talked about was the word trauma, that's being stored here. Now, what I've seen in practice is manifestations of physical dis-ease. So I have people that suffer from IBS, women experience fibroids, you have the energy being stuck where they may not even have a bowel movement, maybe other things are going on in the stomach area, but it's activated. And when it's blocked and stuff like that, it clouds your judgment. You attract things in your life that you wonder, why am I experiencing this again? I thought that I let this go, but you're constantly re-attracting that because there is an energetic hold. And that's why it's important to become aware of these sensations. And some of you have mentioned the shoulders area. So we're talking about tension and stress. Now, when you have the tension and stress, we know what stress does. Stress is a killer, true or true, right? And so many of us are consciously stressing, and now what you're witnessing is energetically stressing. So what are we doing, sugars? We are creating situations that are not for our highest good. When you think to self, why am I in a mood? I woke up like this. I'm meditating every day. If you have some sort of routine, that's beautiful. And I'm doing what I believe is right, yet I'm still feeling a certain way. What this activity has done is just witness for you that it is probably on a deeper level. And it's important to dive into that. So I know you're thinking, but Teak, okay, you've mentioned this. And now we told you about these areas in our body. I don't want this. Of course you don't. How do you get rid of it? I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to move into another exercise to support you in that. And so for those of you, I just want you to focus on one particular space, okay? Because we're not going to do all three. If you want to do all three, you want to test yourself, beautiful. But if you're new to this, I'm gonna say pick one. So if it was the word disappointment, love is always beautiful. We're gonna do this with love anyway, or sort of trauma. Pick one or the other and where you felt the sensation, okay? And I want you to be able to do this at home. So I'm gonna give you the sort of steps I'm gonna take you through. And it's not long steps, but I'm gonna just give you a couple of steps, and then I'm gonna actually do a sound, and we're gonna push energy into that space and help release some of that sensation that you would have had in the stomach or in the shoulders, etc. Because after all, this call is about mind and body, well, and soul as well. And it's about diving into releasing, supporting your healing journey as you move into your daily practices, whatever that is for self. Okay. And I do want to invite you to, if you don't have a daily sort of practice, that your spiritual hygiene, sugar, whatever you believe in, is very important. This supports your how you're going to feel in your mind, how you will feel in your body, and ultimately we're a soul. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay. And it's very important that we balance that. Just like you brush your teeth and you get all cute and you take your shower, well, sugar, I'm gonna need you to cleanse your energetic space, because none of that matters if on your spiritual level you're not vibing high, because what you will attract will be the same sort of situations and experiences that, of course, you don't want to attract in your life. Okay, so with that being said, step number 1, what you would do in terms of releasing things in your energy body is, I always say, we're nature people. I'm going to take it back to the roots. So it is about connecting you to nature. So just think to self, if you can't get into nature, don't worry. Energy is everything and everything is energy, meaning that you can bring forth anything into your vibration. That's why we have imaginations. That's why when you sleep and you dream, you feel like, oh, I went here. Or maybe some of you having premonition dreams, because we're all part of this collective vibration. So you imagine, or if you can, stand in nature, but imagine nature is at the bottom of your feet. And if you're sitting in the bed right now or laying in the bed, that's fine, because I'm just going to position you to where we move into this exercise. If you're sitting in a chair, perfect, because you can imagine that the bottoms of your feet are like a tree trunk and you got these roots that are growing into the earth, so grounding you. Okay, so first it's about grounding. That's the first step. When you have your eyes closed, remember I had you do that little breath exercise. So that's like step 2, where you connecting to your own divine essence. And that's highly important that you connect to your rhythm of breath, because here I'm moving you into mindfulness. So even though you're like, maybe I don't do meditation, Teak, that's all right, sugar. I just want you to focus on breathing, and breath is life. So if you focus on moving that breath in your abdomen and expanding, now you're being grounded, and now you're being conscious about your breath. Okay, so that's step 2. And then step 3, I do everything with understanding the energy of higher power. So again, I'm referencing your God, your creator, this divine energy. If you don't believe, sugar, that's okay. We've all agreed that something is happening in this world. So tap and plug into that. Okay. So you are going to bring forth, when you breathe, that divine energy. And I always invite people, and I guess this can kind of be a step 4, is think about a color. It can be the divine white light if you want. It can be a beautiful green color, which is about the heart chakra and healing. If you believe in angels and you want them to be present to support you through that, do that. But in essence, what I'm saying is tap into something that makes you feel good, because that is what you're going to push through. So those are my 3 tips there. Okay. And so the last bit of that is we're going to breathe that into the area where you felt the sensation. So here we go. I got a lot of bowls around me, but on the count of 3, we're going to do just that. So hopefully by now you got yourself into that position. You got yourself with your eyes closed. You're already in your own rhythmic breath, and you're in this rhythm of inhaling and expanding your beautiful divine essence. And as you release, let it be a slow release, to where you're letting go any tension or stress in the body. And you're bringing yourself into a place of calm, a place of deep relaxation. And then on the count of 3, as a collective energy on this platform, we're going to move into shifting energy outside of your body that no longer serves you. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. You're expanding and holding, beautiful soul. slow release. Again. Inhale. Expand. Now hold. And a slow release. And one more time. Inhale, divine white light and healing energy. Divine white light and healing energy. And hold that vibration. And a slow release. Keeping your eyes closed, beautiful soul, and in your divine essence, I want you to bring your attention to those words that we talked about. Whether it was disappointment, whether that was trauma, take your awareness to the physical sensation that you felt in your body. Whether that was in your mind, your chest, or stomach, or any other place. When you feel that sensation, as you breathe, I want you to send light into that space. Inhale. Expand the light into that area. And when you exhale, imagine that you are blowing it out of the body. So you're inhaling, expanding light. And then you're exhaling, releasing the pain, the tension, that stress in your physical body. And do that for a few more breaths, consciously. And with your exhales, I want you to physically breathe out. No one's there. Don't be shy. Inhale, filling up that divine white light and healing energy, sending that vibration into that physical area of pain, and exhale out of your mouth, releasing and let go. Do that again. Inhale, sending that energy into that area where there is physical pain, holding that divine light, and exhaling. And one more time, inhaling that divine light into that area, holding and exhaling that pain. Beautiful. Now with anything, when we release, we have to fill it with love. So beautiful souls, I'm going to leave you with this prayer. Dear universe, God, creator, all there is, I stand in divine light and power for every beautiful soul on this phone. For any beautiful soul that sees us in the replay. As they continue to expand divine healing energy into their body, into the spaces where they may not have been consciously aware, we remove any blockages from the physical body, the energy body, and the deeper layers of their aura. And I request that it's moved across dimension and time to enable them to live out their truth, to live a healthier version of themselves, and to attract everything their heart desires. And as it's done, it is done. before you open your eyes, bring your awareness into your physical body and that space. Feel the warmth of love as you bring yourself back into your full awareness. Fill yourself with gratitude with the inner knowing that everything is possible, that energy can be shifted, that you are a divine being, that it's your birthright to release and elevate, that your ancestors and your angels are always with you and protecting you on this road and this journey. Take another deep breath in. Bring your attention to your left and right hand, and gently, beautiful soul, just rub them together, generating some energy. Cuff them over your beautiful eyes and allow that to sit for a moment. Bringing that around to your ears. Allow your hands to move to the left and right side of your neck. And gently slide those hands down into a prayer position in the center of your chest, where we begin and end with divine love. Take a deep breath in, and as you inhale, beautiful soul, you're setting the intention for the day that you can, you will, you deserve, you're amazing, and everything is possible. Exhale, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Beautiful souls, thank you. I would like to conclude my session with leaving you with that. Please do practice. Take time for self, ground, feel, send light. Trust me, I guarantee you, you'll start to see transformations in your life. Remembering you are important, you are divine, and of course, my loves, you are amazing. Have an amazing, blessed day. Miss Joan, Rudy, and the crew, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate all of you.
Teak, I mean, that was just a taster of what you do. You are such an amazing, beautiful spirit. You really are. Thank you so much for this morning's session. Wonderful. And guys, Teak, please, please, please tell people about your classes, what you do quickly. And, and I'll just pick up on a couple of points that you said also. Stress is a killer, and I take my Wednesdays. Nobody can, when it gets to 8 o'clock, I get myself ready 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm in my bed by about 8:15, and I'm ready to just vibe with Teak. Absolutely amazing session. You have to take that time out to relax and just connect with the universe and with yourself as well, and just to relieve that stress.
Absolutely, Miss Joan. Thank you for that. Beautiful souls. I'm having a party soon, a virtual party, because as Miss Joan knows, I've allowed spirit to I sent out a vibration to say whoever needs to work with my vessel, they come to me naturally, and that's how it's been for years. And I've been blessed to be in that position. But spirit has moved me into a direction to where I'm meant to expand and turn the switch on for beautiful souls all throughout the world. So that means I need to be more public about it. So with that being said, yes, there are a number of things that I do. Ms. Joan has already mentioned the Wednesday night vibrate. I call it Vibrate with Teak, literally vibrating with bowls. And I this year it's been about teaching. So I'm a Reiki master teacher, so I'll be holding classes. I also have scheduled my first retreat, and I'm super excited. It'll be here in the soil, and it's in October in the Lake District, and I can only take I can't take loads of people. It's going to be a special intimate retreat, so if people are interested in that, please do let me know. But the big one is Ghana in February 2022. Launch is happening. Please do stay close. It's not my mission. It is God. I'm going to say God, the creator, all there is. The mission, I'm just being used as a vessel to serve you beautiful souls. And with that, I have to follow direction. So I just want to leave you with this last quote that I heard from actually a 21-year-old. And forget age, because I think soul, this individual thousands of years old. But he said something very important. You know, people always operate from an empty cup. So he said, you know what, Teak? People need to start filling their cups up. And then the spillage, that's what they should be serving others in the world. And I thought, yeah, because if you're always full, sugar, everything you do will be on a higher vibration. You won't feel depleted. You will feel energized. And guess what? If you don't serve yourself first, sugar, then how are you going to really be there to serve others? So fill your cups up, love. Make sure you take time out for you. Thank you again, Miss Joan. I will drop all those links in there. You can find me a Spiritual Teak everywhere. Lots of love. Thank you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much for that, Teak. And one of the other things that you touched on, which really resonated, is about spiritual hygiene. Yeah, as much as we do the physical hygiene, spiritual, mental hygiene, so important. So I know we're kind of running behind time already. Please put your contact details into the chat. Yeah, so people can connect with you. Join the Wednesday class, absolutely fantastic, and all the other wonderful things you're doing for us queens. And the kings are always welcome.
Absolutely.
So God bless you, my darling. Love you lots.
Love you more.
Thank you so much. And let me quickly move on to Claudine Thornhill, who's going to be our next wonderful speaker. Are you there, Claudine? And can I just quickly say, also before I go into Claudine, that most of you know that I run a walking group. So I know a lot of the ladies who would normally be on the platform, they've joined our walking groups that are all over the UK. So we've got the Queens in East London. I see Queen Kaz, the East London lead. One of the leads for East London is on the platform. Got the Birmingham Queens, Croydon Queens, Manchester Queens, Luton Queens, Harrow and Stanmore Queens, Greenwich Queens, Milton Keynes Queens, Gants Hill, Walking Queens, Enfield and Oakwood Queens, Hadfield and Welling Garden City Queens, Streatham Queens, Brixton Queens. We've got a lot of Queens walking groups all over the UK. So if anybody wants to join, please get in touch with me and we can hook you up with one of the groups. If you want to be in our WhatsApp group, again, the details are in the chat. Please hook us up. You won't be inundated. There's not a whole heap of chatting. It's not that kind of WhatsApp group. It's just a group where we can post information about what we are doing as a Queen's Walking group. So I thought I'd better quickly let you all know that we are a walking group, but because we can't walk in a large group, that's why we're Zooming. So that's that quick announcement out the way. So we're going to move on to the wonderful Claudine, who has been patiently waiting. So Claudine is a naturopathic nutritional therapist and wellness coach, award-winning Forbes and BBC featured nutritional therapist, wellness coach. As the founder of Claudine J. Thornhill Nutrition, she supports women to eat well, feel well, and live fully. Balance is at the heart of Claudine's work and has nutrition and wellness programs focused on supporting women to strengthen their connection to their bodies and strike an improved balance between work, rest, and play. Through her one-to-one packages, wellness events, and speaking on nutritional wellness, Claudine supports women to have better periods, address womb health issues, and transition through perimenopause and into menopause with ease. And a lot of you who've been on the platform before know that we've done quite a few sessions around menopause. So if you check out the YouTube channel, you'll find there's 2 sessions on, it's called Queens, We Ain't Crazy, It's Only the Menopause. And we had some fantastic speakers on there. So please check out the YouTube channel, Queens 2020 Lockdown Series, so you can pick up those. So beautiful Claudine, where are you, my darling?
I'm here. Thank you for that introduction.
Wow.
And I just want to give a shout out to Spiritual Teak. That was amazing and a hard act to follow, but I'm gonna do my best. But yeah, no, thank you for being here. So yeah, to introduce myself, my name's Claudine Thornhill and I'm a naturopathic nutritionist and wellness coach. And as Joan said, I focus predominantly on women's health, and my aim is to help women strike an improved balance, whether we're looking at hormone balance, weight management, energy, fatigue, stress, all those elements. And just touching on what Spiritual Teak said as well, you know, my focus, I guess through my own kind of practice and development, you know, my focus started off with the physical body and the physical health through diet and nutrition. But, you know, I also am of the opinion that, you know, nothing works in isolation. So we are body, mind and spirit. And that spiritual hygiene that Spiritual Teak spoke about is so, so, so important. We can eat all the greens and broccoli and kale and spirulina and everything that we can, but if our spiritual hygiene isn't in check, if our energy isn't right, you know, it's not gonna be right. So we need to get our energy in balance. So I completely love what Spiritual Teak was talking about. So yeah, what I wanted to talk about was seed cycling. So some people may have heard about this, and it might have come up in the session around menopause. But seed cycling. So seed cycling is where you use seeds to support the hormone balance and support reproductive health. And the really good thing about seed cycling is that we can use it at any stage in our reproductive cycle. So whether we're a young teen having issues with our menstrual cycle, whether we are someone who's looking at reproductive health issues such as PMS, PMT, PCOS, fibroids, endometriosis, anything like that, whether we're looking at fertility, we want to support our fertility, perimenopause, menopause, seed cycling can be used in any stage of our reproductive health cycle. It's reasonably easy to practice and implement, and it's cheap as well. So what is it? I'm gonna, if possible, could I share my screen? I just wanted to bring up
Yes, that'd be fun, darling. You can go ahead and share.
Okay, all right, let me just expand this. Yeah, okay. So can everyone see that image of the seeds rotation for the menstrual cycle? Can you see that?
You just need to make it bigger, my darling.
Okay. Great, can you see that now?
It hasn't enlarged.
I don't think you're in the program, Claudine.
Okay, all right. All right, never mind. I'll explain it. That's fine. That's fine. Let me. I'll stop sharing, and maybe I can share it in the WhatsApp group, and then it can be circulated, something like that. But essentially, seed cycling is
the presentation that you've got. Is it a presentation?
It was just an image that I wanted to share.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, just an image.
Yeah, don't worry.
So seed cycling is where you use a rotation of seeds through the menstrual cycle, or through, if you don't have a menstrual cycle, or if you have an irregular menstrual cycle, you can still use seed cycling. But it's where you use a rotation of seeds to support hormonal balance. So what you would do is use a mixture of flax seeds and pumpkin seeds in the first half of your cycle. So you take one tablespoon of flax seeds, 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds, and you'd use that in the first half of your cycle. So from day 1, where your period starts, up until ovulation. When it comes to those seeds, they need to be freshly ground. It helps with the absorption in your gut. So you take 1 tablespoon of each, freshly ground, and you add them into whatever food that you're eating. And I've got some items here which I can just show you how you can use them. So you'd use the first combination of seeds in the first half of your cycle. Then after ovulation, you'd use the second half, the second rotation of seeds, and that would be sunflower seeds and sesame seeds. Again, 1 tablespoon of each, freshly ground, and you'd add them into your food. And you'd continue doing that every day throughout your menstrual cycle. Like I said, if you don't have a menstrual cycle, or if your periods are irregular, or if your cycle is irregular, you can still use seed cycling, but what you would do, you would use it in line with the moon cycle. So you'd start the blend of flax seeds and pumpkin seeds from the new moon up until the full moon, and then you'd swap the seeds over from the flax seeds and pumpkin seeds into the sesame seeds and sunflower seeds from the new moon through to the full moon. The reason why this works is because in the first half of the cycle, you've got your flax seeds and your pumpkin seeds. Flax seeds are really key when it comes to hormonal health and hormonal balance. I will, Nusa, I'll share it in writing. So really important when it comes to hormonal balance. Flax seeds are a form of phytoestrogen. So phytoestrogen, they are a mild form of estrogen. What that does, it helps to support the balance between estrogen and progesterone in the body. And a lot of the times when we have womb health issues, fibroids, endo, when we're going through menopause, there is an imbalance between estrogen and progesterone. Maybe one's too high and one's too low. By using this cycle of seeds, it supports the balance of the estrogen and progesterone. So therefore, negating any issues that we might have, such as if we're going through perimenopause or menopause, night sweats or brain fog or any of those kind of issues that we're dealing with. My recommendation is to use seed cycling for about 3 months to see the full effect. So just to go through some of the benefits or what you're getting when you use seed cycling is that it contains phytoestrogens. So these are mild forms of estrogen that help to bring estrogen into the body and helps to remove any excess estrogen that is hanging about in the body. Sometimes when we've got issues like fibroids, it's because we've got high amounts of estrogen in the body where actually those estrogens should be excreted out from the body. By using phytoestrogens, we can bring the milder estrogens into the body and it helps the more chemically active estrogens removed from the body. So we have the phytoestrogens, we have fiber. Fiber is really important when it comes to gut health and women's health. The reason for that is because, again, we want to support detoxification and elimination of waste products out of the body, and that includes hormones that have already been used in the body. We want to support those to be eliminated out of the body. So when we're doing the seed cycling, we're supporting our gut, we're bringing in fiber to release those toxins out of the body. We also have zinc in there, so that's helping to boost progesterone in the body. We also have vitamin E, anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is at the heart of any kind of imbalance or dis-ease in the body. So if we bring in anti-inflammatories, it helps to just reduce down the inflammation and support our bodies coming back into balance. We also have selenium in there, which supports thyroid. A lot of the time when we find that, particularly as we get older as women, we find it hard to lose weight. Our metabolism sometimes slows down. When we're bringing in the selenium through these seeds, it helps to support the thyroid, helps to support our metabolism, also helps to support our liver. Again, that supports the detoxification of any excess hormones that have already been used in the body to eliminate out of the body. So like I said, 3-month period is the ideal period of time that you want to be using this to see the effects, but you can use it on an ongoing basis. And the way that you would do it, one of the recommendations I would make is in your breakfast or as a snack. You might want to use something like a yogurt, so a dairy-free yogurt, such as the Coconut Collaborative, something like this. You can mix in dairy-free yogurt. These are my seeds that I blended up. So this is a mixture of flax seeds and pumpkin seeds. So I blend them all up in advance and I just keep them in an airtight container in the fridge so they don't go rancid. So that's really important as well. So when you grind up these seeds, you want to store them correctly so they don't go rancid. It's just like if you were to cut up an apple and store it, you want to store it airtight so that it doesn't go rancid. And then you can just mix that with some fruit, something like blueberries, high in antioxidants. You've got your sugar fix in there, but they're low sugar, low calorie. So something like that would make a good breakfast or a good snack. You can add some oats in there as well. You could add in peanut butter, chia seeds, anything like that to boost the protein content as well. Helps to keep you fuller for longer. So that's how we'd use seed cycling to support the hormonal balance. And just coming back into some of the things I was talking about earlier as well, what we also want to do when we're looking at women's health is support our bodies going into this kind of calm state. A lot of the time, as Joan and Spiritual Teak was talking about, we can be in this high stress, high cortisol state, particularly if we're women of a certain age and we're holding multiple responsibilities. We might be looking after children, we may be supporting older parents. holding down a job, holding down a business, holding down the household. We're wearing so many hats. And it's, although we may, we've got these obligations, we need to look at how we're supporting our body to come back into calm and rest. When we're in a restful state, it's the most optimal state for us to be able to digest and absorb our food. So, we can eat, like I said, we can eat as well as we can, but we also need to be sure that we're absorbing our food. Absorption comes from resting and digesting. Also good quality sleep as well. So again, some people can be laying down in their bed for 7-8 hours, wake up and they're still not ready to go. They may need that cup of coffee to help them kind of kick off their day. So practicing the spiritual hygiene, coming back to self, taking that time for ourselves to do the deep breathing, restorative movements such as yoga or Pilates, and just calming the body down. Help to also support our overall health and well-being, but particularly when it comes to hormonal balance, supporting that as well. So I'm conscious of time, so I will leave it there. But yeah, what I'll do is I will share this document that I wanted to share on screen. I'll share it into the group, and hopefully, Miss Joan, you can share that with everybody else as well.
Thank you so much for that, Claudine. And I mean, I do all this anyway. It's so good to know that you're on the right track. A lot of you who've been on the platform will know already that we do a thing almost like every other month called intermittent fasting. So that group finished at the end of May. So all these kind of like practices, we already implemented it into our diets.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to, whether I should say, Aldi, they do these packets of ground flax seeds, they do it the flax seeds and pumpkin seeds. If you can't do it yourself, it's really about being savvy about it, the way in which we shop and understanding the correct foods we should be implementing into our diets.
Exactly. And if you wanted to, just to say, if you wanted to grind the seeds yourself, you can buy them whole and just put them in. If you've got a NutriBullet or a blender or something like that, put them in there dry and you can blend them, or you can buy the mixes themselves, but be sure to store them in the fridge in an airtight container so they don't go rancid.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So if anybody has any questions, please pop them into the chat. I'll try my best to moderate. Normally my wonderful co-host Nadia would be here, but she's been off for a few weeks. So Claudine, thank you so much. It's got me thinking, and people should be able to see that everything is all interconnected. It's not just about the mind or the body or spirit. Everything, it has to be that holistic approach.
Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful. Well, I'm gonna, because we're really running behind time now. We've got the wonderful Angela Barrows, psychotherapist. Angela has experience working with young people and adults. Angela has worked in statutory and community-based settings, including the NHS and GP practices, multi-disciplinary social workers, police, youth offending teams, social enterprise and charity. Well, you've done it all, haven't you, my dear? You've been around the block a couple of times.
I forget sometimes how much I have done, actually. So when you're reading it back, I was like, wow, is that me?
Experiences include working with refugees and asylum seekers using interpreters, working with Mothers Against Crime project, working with African Caribbean young people affected by gun crime in Nottingham. So you've done a lot, Queen.
Yeah.
You've done it a lot. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Joan, for the introduction.
You're very welcome.
And I'm conscious of time as well, so I will be, give me a shout if I've gone over, because I could talk for forever, especially about therapy. Now, if anybody had said to me about going to therapy, let me say probably about 20 years ago, I would have said, absolutely no way. I'm letting nobody know my business. It's one of those things within our community. You have things happen to you, and it's like you don't go and chat your business to anybody else. Fast forward to today, I have to say therapy saved my life. That's what I will say. And I will just share my journey as to how I got to where I am today. And where I am today, I'm in a fantastic place. I'm loving life. I get up every morning. I give God thanks. I'm grateful. I'm happy when the sun's out. I'm happy when it's raining. I'm just grateful that I'm alive, especially because of what's gone on with the pandemic. that started last year, and this pandemic is still continuing, but it's continuing in our minds, our mental health. Talked about trauma and what trauma is, you know, how it impacts the body. And Claudine's talking about food. All of that helps to serve us in keeping our minds healthy. And if your mind's healthy and your body's healthy, that's wealth for me. Going back in time for me, back to when I was first born, I'm first generation here in England. My parents came from Jamaica, and I was born in 1964. I know, I'm showing my age, telling you how old I am. And when I was first born, my early years, I suffered from a lot of asthma, and I wasn't able to kind of go to school. And as I got older, I mean, I've one of five children, so I'm an only girl with four brothers. And by the time I'd got to the age of 8, I experienced sexual abuse. And I didn't know what that was at the time. It's not something that you talk to, and particularly as parents from that generation, they don't talk about mental health. So I grew up in a family that never spoke about feelings. I grew up around a mother that was unfortunately a narcissistic mother, and I get to learn that as I've gone through my training. So she was a present absence, means that she was present physically, but she was absent emotionally. So what I was yearning for and wanting for from my mother was just the contact, the love. She tells me that she loves me, but what I didn't feel from her was that love. And as a result of that, I isolated myself. I was a very quiet child. I never spoke. I had lots of friends, but I used to kind of pretend that, you know, I used to like people just because I wanted to be around other people, because I didn't feel that whilst I was at home with lots of people. I felt alone and I felt isolated as well. Going into my teens and into work, I didn't make, you know, I wasn't very active, I wasn't very vocal. And going back to Teak again, it's about, you know, the voice chakra. I know that I've got, I think I've got eczema at the back of my neck, and I was told that that's the fact that I find it very difficult to kind of use my voice growing up. And I think that's still there. Lost my train of thought now, sorry. Yes, so I've gone into my teenage years now, and I'm all smiley, all happy. When I'm out there putting on the face, as we all do, even when we're tired and we're broken down, as Black women, we kind of still put on that face. And I'm kind of helping lots of other people, but not being aware of myself, and wasn't looking after myself. So I would go a long time. You know, you talk about intermittent fasting. I could go the whole day without eating and not drinking very much. So I was internally, I was in a really, really bad space. And then got into very difficult relationships. I was promiscuous, and it's all looking back now, I'm recognizing these were all the traits of things that were happening for me. And that was the trauma that had happened as a child. I then had my children. I've got 2 children. One was 24 and one who's 17 now. And I think when I had my daughter, I realized that something had to change. And because there were times whilst I was parenting my daughter that I realized the connection that we had wasn't there. And I realized that was a pattern that had happened with my mum and myself. And I was determined that I wasn't going to allow that pattern to go down the generation, because my mother reminded me that, you know, the relationships that I'd had, you know, the same thing happened to your grandmother. You know, she was in an institution. She wasn't very well physically. The same thing happened to me because my mum and my parents split up, and the same thing's going to happen to you. And I thought, absolutely not. This is where it stops. And I was determined, but I didn't know at that time how that was going to actually play out. I was working for the civil service, was there for 22 years. And I decided, that's it, I've had enough of that, and took a year out when I had my son, and decided about what I wanted to do. And I decided that I wanted to try and do my training in psychotherapy. And that was a turning point for me, because up until that point, I hadn't had any help at all. I just pretended that life was good when inside I was actually breaking down, and I didn't realize it. I started my training, and it was a four-year training session. And I ended up having therapy for 5 years. 4 of those years was part of my training. And the fifth year was, I made that choice to kind of stay on, but I didn't realize until I actually went into therapy how much I was actually holding. I can remember sitting in the chair and my therapist saying to me, Angela, I'd like you to stand up. And I was physically, it was almost like a 10-ton brick was sitting on top of me. I couldn't get up because I was just kind of carrying this heavy, heavy burden that I didn't realize that had happened for me. And it was only then, whilst I was in therapy, that I realized my therapist was saying to me, you don't realize what you've actually gone through in your life is trauma. Not only that, it's only since I finished my training, I recognize now that generationally, as a people, we've gone through trauma that has never been dealt with. And particularly as women, we go through even more. And the thing for me, what I recognized was that I didn't want that, what I'd experienced, to affect my children. So what I'm saying is, why therapy? Because in therapy, if anyone's never had therapy before, it's an opportunity, it's a safe space for you to be able to talk about the things that you're not able to talk about, either to your friends, to your family, to your networks. And it allows you to be yourself and to be free to talk about anything at all whatsoever, because everything that is talked about in therapy is completely confidential. So your therapist is not allowed to reveal anything that you've spoken about. Why I didn't go into therapy was because I didn't trust the system. I knew that a therapist, that if I was to go and see one, wouldn't look like me, and I'm not going to be sharing my information with anybody that didn't look like me. Because I was actually diagnosed with depression at the age of 18. And when I went to my GP, my mother was worried about me. I went to the GP and to talk to her about it. And she said to me, Angela, you're actually experiencing depression. Now you've got some choices. I can either offer you some medication, you can find somebody to talk to, or you could take up yoga. And I thought, yoga was a really good idea. I was into a lot of sports and everything else, and I was open to that. Support and speaking to someone else, that was an absolute no-no. I knew that I wasn't going to speak to anybody. And the medication wasn't even an option at all whatsoever. So I left there and I thought, yeah, I may take up yoga. I actually took up netball and did lots of weight training and things like that. That was my way to kind of express it. And at the time, I didn't realize that was what was happening, that was releasing it. So I was able to kind of function in the world. But there have been instances throughout my life where I've actually wanted to take my own life. And I know I'm sitting here and saying this, and it feels kind of like, oh, she just wants to kind of commit suicide. But that's because now I'm in a place where I can actually talk about it and I can be open and share my experience to try and encourage women, and if there are any men on this chat, to get the support. Because there was a time when I wanted to take not just my life, but my daughter's life, and she was only a few months old, because I was in a lot of debt. I'd left a relationship which had broken down, unfortunately, and I was trying to find somewhere to live, and everything was coming on me, and I didn't realize that I could have asked for support. And if I did, I didn't know who to turn to. So I'm driving my car and I'm thinking, right, this is it. I'm going, because I just I can't carry this burden anymore. I can't allow myself to go through this pain anymore that I was carrying. And if I'm going to go, I'm taking my daughter with me, because I would not thought about who was going to look after her, and I wanted to make sure that she was going to be with me, whatever happened. And I remember driving on this dual carriageway, and the car was getting the speed. I kept putting my foot on the pedal, and the speed was kind of getting faster and faster. And it was only because the phone rang on the passenger side that stopped me, that slowed me down. Don't worry, I didn't answer the phone. I'm going back. This is like in the early 90s. So we never, you know, our phones at that time weren't at the level that they are now. And I remember driving to where I was staying at the time, and a family friend, it was my brother actually, came to me to check to see if I was okay, because I'd left having a heated discussion with my mother. And that's what stopped me. And then there were times when I had my second son, and there were times when I would just wanted to walk out of the house. And this is whilst I was actually doing my training, because what was coming up in my therapy was all the things that I'd pushed down so far that it was really hard to kind of like access it. And being in those therapy sessions, it was moving, it was incredible, it was life affirming, but it was also, it felt I was being re-traumatized, but I realized that I had to go through that journey in order to kind of work through all that stuff that had been packed solid for such a long time. Thinking back to what happened to me when I was 8 years old, I didn't actually go into therapy till I was 40. So that was like 30 odd years of kind of holding and packing all this strain, this pressure, this stress, this trauma, packing it down so that I couldn't feel it. But then because I wasn't able to feel it within myself, how am I able to be available to feel it for my children? So that was a benefit for me for kind of being in therapy. And to be fair, I never thought I would be sitting in front of a therapist who didn't look like me. He was white and he was male. But I have to say that he literally saved my life and saved the life of my children as well. He was, God bless him. He was very open to me being a Black woman and encouraging me to show that side of me and present myself into the world of how I am, and not to be ashamed of that, and not to be afraid of that, and to be in the world fully and completely. And that's what I respected about him. And that respect built a relationship, because you have to have a relationship with your therapist in order for you to do the work properly. If you are thinking of going into therapy, and I would advise anybody to consider to do that, to help you work through the issues that you've gone through in life. Sometimes you may not have spoken about it, other times you may have spoken about it but not got the results, or probably felt that you were able to kind of work through some of the issues. But with a practitioner who has been trained, because we as therapists, we have to go through our own therapy to deal with our own stuff so that we can support other clients. They have the experience and the expertise to be able to support you and do that in a safe and supportive way. I have to say that now where I am is that the work that I do as a therapist, I work in schools, I work at the university, I've also got a private practice. I have to say I absolutely enjoy, I adore everything about it. In fact, I'm one of those that probably wouldn't sleep, I could continue doing, but I know that listening to the other queens this morning, especially spirituality, is I've got to look after myself. But I just now love the space that I'm in. I'm helping other people. And I know that the work that I do, I want to take it on a bigger level, because mental health is something years ago I talked about was a pandemic back then. Now we've hit the pandemic with COVID, and as a result of that, it's just gone. That for me is a new pandemic, is a mental health, and that we need to address it. There's not, for me personally, this is just my opinion, that I feel that there's not enough practitioners that are going to be able to serve, particularly this country, and to serve our people. Therefore, it's how can we, as individuals, support ourselves and nurture ourselves in a way that we can support our mental health, and in turn, as mothers, as parents, as carers, how and what are we passing on to our children? Because that's really, really, really important. There's a lot of children that I'm seeing at a very young age who are struggling with, there's a lot of anxiety, more so because of the pandemic. There's a lot of self-harming. There's a lot of drug taking, and I'm talking primary school age. Some children are drinking a lot of these energy drinks. They're taking drugs because they've seen their parents, and they're around so much negative energy and negative parenting. And that's no disrespect to parents or carers, but because if they're carrying their baggage, you're passing that on to your child, whether you are shouting, screaming at them, or some children are coming to school and kind of saying they're being hit by their parents, that because their mother or their father's kind of just come home completely drunk. It's scary when I think these are just some of the children that I'm seeing in the schools where I live. Build that up into a city, and then take that even further out into the whole of the country, and then even wider than that globally. What is actually happening? We're building a generation of young people that are going to be absolutely terrified, scared, anxious, not be able to function in the world. So what I'm trying to get out is the fact that, get support, speak to somebody, preferably a practitioner, who is fully trained in that. And if that, I know, and money, it does cost money, but there are some free services that are available. But again, they're overrun, and because of the extent of COVID, as therapists, we've our work is really increased. So this is about how can we, instead of kind of relying on practitioners, to be able to support ourselves. And I'm trying to kind of put some programs together to try and help parents, or those who are becoming parents, or adults at this time, how they can help themselves and how they can support their children as well. There's a lot I'd love to carry on and saying, because I know that there's but because of time I think I better leave it there. But yes, so I'm reaching out to everybody to say, look, your mind is important, the food that you eat is important, your spiritual sense of self is important, and I think all of that working together can put you in a better place. Let me leave it there for you, Joan.
Oh, Angela. Yeah, sometimes, when I'm pulling these sessions together, I get a little bit of a clue what practitioners are going to bring to the platform, but really share the personal, deep story.
Yeah.
And what is so wonderful, you've been able to live through the trauma, but you've been able to shine through the trauma and to turn what's happened to you into a real positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And you're now on a mission in a way to serve and to help others. So I lift you up, my queen. I commend you.
Thank you. And thank everybody for listening.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, the chat is just blowing up. And I'm so humbled really now to have a really powerful testimony. And we've got Patsy. Thank you for that, Patsy. Powerful testimony. Thank you.
Thank you, Patsy. Thank you, everybody.
I think Lorna's also on the platform because they've created a group called Sangoma Wellbeing Collective. I've got it right. It's about bringing Black therapists together, so we can go. It's almost like an organisation. You can almost go to them and look for a therapist. But I'm going to bring them on probably towards the end to talk.
Okay.
2 or 3 minutes about it.
Yeah. Okay.
As well about what I do. It's about connecting people.
Absolutely.
We've got fantastic people in our community, but everybody's so sprinkled. And that's why I always say, this pandemic has been fantastic because it's made me learn Zoom, like a lot of us. I've had to learn to Zoom. I've had to, pull together, well, not had to, but I've done it. I've pulled together all these platforms, all these wonderful professionals across different spectrums. So we've got all this in our community. I'm so happy and I'm so privileged to be able to do this and to have, individuals like yourself on the platform. So thank you.
No problem. It's been a pleasure.
So, 30 years of trauma, and you're so right. There's a lot of things we're carrying from childhood into adulthood, which affects our lives, it affects our work, and it's recognizing and being in a way courageous enough to confront it and to deal with it.
Absolutely.
So, and you're quite right, because I mean, my day job, I work for a particular local authority, and I see the referrals coming through, and you're absolutely right. We've got the underage drinking, a lot of violence in the home because the parents are under stress.
Yes.
The parents are under stress.
That is so true.
And the children, they're getting it.
Yes.
The grooming, the self-harming, the cutting. You think, what's going on? And I think when I was young, what's all this going on? But I suppose it's a different time, there's a lot more pressures.
Social media is part of that as well, because
Yeah.
children are seeing things on their mobile phones, as much as it might have information globally.
Yes.
You know, I'm learning things with my children about Black history that I didn't know, because we never had books in the library to go and look for that. They have it in the palm of their hand, but at the same time, be mindful of your children with the mobile phones, because they have access to absolutely everything. The horrors of people being chopped up and TikTok, and you've got to be so careful about what they're actually doing with what they're watching on their phones. I could go on, but yeah, I will.
But thank you, thank you. If you're going to hang around for a little bit, please put your
yes, I will do.
into the chat, because I'm sure there's people trying to get in. So they've got 2 spaces. So 100 people on the platform, and it's been live streamed through Facebook. So you can really watch it. It's been live streamed through YouTube. So if anybody misses it, they can catch it there. And please, share with your friends. So if anybody wants to join the WhatsApp group, please contact myself. The information's in the chat. But Angela, thank you so much. Powerful, really powerful. So we're going to move on to our next speaker. Yes, we're whizzing through them. We've got the wonderful Antoinette Carter. So Antoinette is a nature coach from London. She helps leaders and busy professionals who want to enhance their natural abilities and be more productive to take of themselves. She does this work with a vision and a mission to improve people's lives by visual listening and treating them with equal respect. She loves to see her clients' self-esteem grow and support them in their journey and transformation. So beautiful Antoinette, where are you, my darling? Are you there? We did see you. Are you there, Antoinette? Let me just have a look in there. Right, can you see Antoinette, please, Rudy?
Unmute Antoinette. Antoinette, unmute yourself, please. That's it. Yeah.
Hi guys, how is everyone today?
Hi, good morning, good morning. Our nature coach.
Hi. Can everyone hear me out there?
You can hear, but you're frozen on the screen.
Yes, it's me, Antoinette Carter, Queenie Park. Can you see me?
Antoinette, could you just check your internet connection, please?
Oh gosh, is it not coming through clear?
No.
Oh no.
All right, if we let you check your internet connection, I'm going to move on to Nelsa. So if you sort your internet out, so Nelsa.
Hello. Can everyone see me and hear me?
International speaker in English and Portuguese, author and poet, and soul of a woman journey to self-love. Nelsa is the founder of Free to Embrace Me, creator of I Love Myself First retreats, and signature holistic well-being specialist. Nelsa is also known as the Queen of Self-Love. How are you this morning, beautiful?
I am very well. As you can tell, I've got a bit of a sore throat.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm detoxing from, there's a lot of emotional stuff going on, breakthroughs, letting go. So yeah, I'm detoxing at the moment, but I'm very, very well. And I'm excited. I'm kind of glad you let me go, because I'm just like, I'm waiting. Come on, where's my turn? So I'm really, really excited. So as my title is a poet, as you know, I'm an international speaker. I speak 2 languages, both Portuguese and English, and I speak on both platforms to empower women. My story was very similar to Angela, where I did suffer with severe depression for 5 years and to the point of suicide as well. I decided not to take medication, and I decided to seek a holistic way of healing. And funnily enough, my therapist was also a white Italian man who worked with me for 4 weeks and made me realize that I was getting in my own way and I simply needed to get started. So I did part 1 of Queens Loving Ourselves, and I talked more about my journey. But for those who want to know a bit more, because I'm going to now move forward to where I am now. For those who want to know, I have written this book called Soul of Woman, A Journey to Self-Love. And it explains my journey, but it also tells you how to go through your own journey to self-love. Because as we said, self-love is key. So as I'm a poet, I'm going to bless you with 2 poems and summarize so that we're not here for too long, as I know we're conscious of time. So what I want to talk about to you ladies is owning your feminine power. And I'm going to read a poem that I wrote called A Woman's Worth when this was 2 years ago, when some of us, we're working, but we're actually not seeing our worth as the queens that we are. We're just taking a job because, we just got to do what we have to do. So I hope and I pray that this poem, I'm sure it will resonate with you. And because we're queens here, Black queens here, this poem is also for you. It's called A Woman's Worth. I am a strong woman, the conductor of my destiny. My body is beautifully sculpted with the finest lines, the most curviest curves, brown skin so soft, lips of a Nubian queen. Eyes created to see the most beautiful things. Yet at times I talk the talk. I even walk the walk. Still, I often forget my worth. Faking a smile, a hello, madam or sir. Wear a mask with a white shirt and black skirt. Tell myself I love what I do when I'm not following my call. Then the words of someone else expecting me to serve, looking down at me, not seeing that behind this uniform is a woman of worth. Creates anger within me, not at them, but at myself for not really seeing my capabilities as a woman, as a diamond, as a healer. Bringing back to my ancestors who endured so much pain in slavery, to serve those who continue to hurt them, humiliate them, imprison them, and even rape them. Does that mean that their scars have been embedded within me for accepting a job just because I believe it to be easy? No, there is more than that. Maybe a feeling that this freedom won't last, that I'll have to beg just so someone can see that I have what it takes to guide them, to bring them out of their own slave mentality. Or is it the fear that the past often brings that this feeling is here temporarily? On one side, I feel beautiful and capable of doing anything I put my mind to. On the other, this part of me just feels tired of saying yes like a prostitute, reminding myself it's okay because it's temporary and not degraded. It's only serving a few drinks. That soon I'll be doing what I'm truly meant to and will be living the life I am destined for. Let go, my child. It's the language I hear as I express myself and my thoughts so freely. Do not worry about the how. Instead of saying yes, I'm working for less, say, I am worthy of receiving more, and let go of the stress. I am not my ancestors. I am not what they see. They are simply reflecting what I often forget still lives inside me. Yet I am free, consciously. Yet subconsciously, there's a child that lives inside a queen that lived inside another queen that down my family chain was a slave. I'm here to break that chain. I refuse to break out with so many scars to live the story others were not capable of. They felt trapped and conformed to society's expectations of them and gave up on themselves and were labeled Black, single mother, never married, in debt, living from job to job just to pay bills. Listening to this chill gives them chills. Let me give them something to be excited about. Being Black does not make me a slave. Being a single mother does not make me needy. Never married does not mean I have issues. Being in debt does not make me poor. Living from job to job does not make me weak. These were the paths that my Creator so graciously chose for me. Some I accepted and chose because they felt better for me. Others were choices from my own need to care for those I love. All of these were lessons that have made me the woman I am today. I will not change a single one because I have learned. Sorry.
You're okay, take a minute.
That the power to create the life that I deserve means I have many options, but mostly I have power and free will to ask for what I am worth, demand what was promised to me, a life of abundance, love, and freedom. Yes, I am free. Whew. Oh, that poem gets me every time because we women do not know the power that we possess. We women allow other people to take that power away from us. But when we truly look at ourselves, we realize that we are the ones who are allowing it. We are the ones that need to own it and take full responsibility. So I'm going to ask in the chat, what does walking in your feminine power look like? And what is stopping you from stepping into your own feminine power? I want you to just answer that question. What is stopping you from stepping into your feminine power? And I'm going to say a few words of what it means to be a woman and walking in feminine power. The words beautiful, lovable, powerful, confident, caring, nurturing, carefree, intimate, competitive, winner, provider, sensuous, erotic. Are you stepping into those powers, ladies? And if any of those words did not feel good to you, ask yourself why. Because those things are what we are born with. We are beautiful. But are you claiming that? Are you speaking it? Listen to the words that you're saying. Are you being a bully or are you being a cheerleader to yourself? You can talk to a girlfriend and tell her how beautiful you are, how empowering that you are. But then to yourself, you're like, oh, I should have been doing this. I should be doing that. You should be your own cheerleader. You should be saying to yourself, when you wake up in the morning, after you said to the Creator, I am grateful I'm alive, you should be saying, I'm grateful that I'm strong and I'm beautiful and I'm resilient and I'm here. These are the things you should be saying to yourself. And if anybody says the opposite, you should be able to empower yourself to say, that's what they see. That's not who I am. That's their perception of what they're going through, because everybody's going through something you know nothing about. And at times we think to ourselves, why is it that somebody that I truly love or I care about, could be your mom, could be your daughter, could be anyone, could be your friend, is sometimes not saying good things to you? They are fighting a battle you know nothing about. And it's never about you, it's always about them. When I got that concept, I realized that I had to empower myself and protect my own energy. So I'm going to read one last poem that I've written and I've read and I absolutely love, and it should summarize everything that I'm saying. Right, to all you ladies on this platform, the poem is called I Am a Black Woman. As I enter the room, deafening silence roars. Judgmental gazes descend from negative, broken souls. Fake smiles disguising voices of what a woman of grace is expected to wear. Why her hair is so wild. Why her hips are so wide. Why her lips are so thick. Unbeknown to them, I am not my clothes, nor am I my hair, or the shape of my body, or the color of my skin. I am deeper than any human labels as a color. I am skin deep. Born as a diamond from my queen carrying scars that are now her beauty marks. The strength of my ancestors, the resilience of kings and queens. I continue to walk this journey of self-love, ensuring I swing my hips even bolder, just so the looks become longer. The swaying of my hips just to create a curiosity in their lips. I laugh louder, they laugh with me. Whilst I laugh to myself, I hold in my head higher. I am that chick, often referred to as an angry Black woman. I'll take that, because the anger is a wall I often wear as my protection, until I allow myself to trust you, decide whether you're worthy of receiving time with a queen, not based on your color, what you do, but based on how your spirit shines through. It's the laws of attraction. Authenticity diminishes curiosity. Honesty erases disloyalty. Strength empowers the weak. Resilience encourages growth. And love is universal. It sees no color. It has no conditions. Human beings mistakenly decided to have expectations that have led to humanity destruction. Can we all just end this never-ending perception that we, as living beings, must come with instructions? If you close your eyes and take a deep breath, you will see that we all need the same things. We breathe the same air. We eat the same foods. We even have the same fears and thoughts. We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. We were just given a body to temporarily reside in. Can't we all just love the uniqueness we all bring and give ourselves one instruction? To love so deep that we make a world a better place to breathe. To laugh even when there's uncertainty. To love harder than we believe is possible. To be grateful for all the colors we were born with and remind one another that we were born from love with only one mission, to love unconditionally, on purpose, with passion. I am Nelza Katoja, the poet who writes a way to freedom. Only we can set ourselves free if we begin to walk in our feminine power and ask for what we truly deserve and be open to receiving. Thank you, my queens.
Absolutely beautiful, powerful. Oh gosh, you've taken my breath away. You really have. And I remember the first time when we did part 1 back in April, and you had that technical issue, and you just spoke from it. Every time you speak from the heart. You are a powerful Black queen. Powerful.
Thank you. I'm
asking for one more poem. I'm asking for one more poem.
One more poem. Have I got time?
When we get towards the end, I'm going to ask you to come back with a one when we do our parting goodbyes. But let me see if the beautiful Antoinette is here. Have you been able to sort your internet connection, Antoinette? Is Antoinette back on the platform, Rudy? Can you see her? I can't see her.
Can everyone hear me?
Oh, bless you.
Can you see me?
We can see you, but you're kind of like going in and out of the screen.
Oh.
But don't go. Let's see how we go.
Now?
Yeah, let's see. Right, go.
Hi everyone. I've got a few technical issues, so going in and out. But I'm Queen Aoife and I'm a nature coach. Can you hear me? I'm out in nature at the moment, and I just want to connect with you guys. Can you hear me?
Right, you're still very muffled. Oh,
really?
Dear.
Oh no. Yeah. All right then. What I'll do is I'll come on another time, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. Rudy, how does it sound?
I think because she's outside.
Oh.
Antoinette, you outside, yes? She's outside and internet.
Oh, that's a shame. I really wanted to hear a bit more about the nature coach. Okay. Let's see if we can get her back in a minute. Right, I'm going to ask anybody on the platform now. So thank all my presenters for being on the platform this morning. You have been all amazing. We've got a couple of questions that have come through. Got a couple of people who've got their hands up. So all that I ask, if when you come onto the platform, if you could please put your camera on, because we don't like talking to a black screen. And you can say where you're coming in from. We always like to know where our queens are situated, and then we can go from there. So, Nelsa, you've got your hand up. Did you want to ask a question?
No, I also wanted to add in with Antoinette. I know she can't speak at the moment, but I just wanted to share a little something in terms of the nature coaching, especially for all of us ladies who are therapists, consultants, practitioners, coaches, and all the ladies. Although I do all the practicing healing stuff, you know, I attend spiritual teaks, sound healing sessions. I do a lot of stuff, and I believed I was connecting with nature just by taking a walk. And myself and Antoinette connected. She found me on LinkedIn and she did one of my programs. And then we just collaborated in a lot of events. And one thing she said to me is, I want to coach you out into nature. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? I'm a coach. I don't need a coaching into nature. She said, listen, let me take you to one session. She met up with me and she took me out into nature. And she said this to me that stuck with me. Every time we go out into nature, it's always about what we want from nature, but you never ask nature what it wants from you. And I was like, okay, I didn't think of that. So one thing that she shared with me and that helped me is that every time I go out, I forget the world and I close my eyes and ask, what do you want from me? And I want to share one quick experience that I had when I said that. I walked into nature and I said, what do you want from me? Because I was going through a tough time. And nature just, I heard the word still, be still. I'm like, what does that mean? So, okay, I thought, like, let me be still. I sat on a bench and I opened up my YouTube because I like to listen to inspirational quotes. I came across a video by Oprah, and Oprah was talking about stillness. I was like, okay. So I listened to it and I just sat there and I watched the river, I watched the water, and I sat in that present moment. Now, every time I go into nature, I connect with the elements of nature. And I'm going to forget some of them, but earth, water, wind, come on, spiritual take me some more, fire, and yeah, all of that good stuff. But because I'm a fire sign, water calms me. So I realize now that when I go into nature, I need to be close to water. So if anyone here wants to know about how to connect with nature, you can actually do it online. Antoinette can offer online sessions as well. And it's really to help you on how to connect, truly connect to nature. Now, when I'm stuck at home and I feel like I need to go outside, it's nature, but I also relate it to me speaking to God. When I'm speaking to nature, I'm speaking to God and I'm asking God, what do you want from me? And most of the time is what we queens need, which is love, stillness, playfulness, calmness, do nothing. And that's all I wanted to share from that part in terms of nature. So yeah, that's my experience.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's also, you know, we get a lot of that with the walking group because, you know, we leave out early in the morning and we walk to a park somewhere, and it is that stillness and just listening to the birds and observing nature and that calmness and tranquility. It's so, it just resonates the way it passes through you. And we all need that time to just be still and to connect, and the grounding, it's so powerful. But what I'm going to ask you to do, Sif, can you, I'm trying to get hold of Antoinette. Can you see if you can get hold of her? Maybe if she goes inside, maybe her internet connection might be better. I think it's because she's outside. All right, my darling, because I'd love to hear about the nature coach. Yeah. Right, so we've got some questions. Norma, you've got your hand up. If you'd like to come on. Where are you coming in from, Norma? Good morning. Norma's one of our regulars. Right, if you unmute yourself, Norma. Norma's one of our wonderful beauticians who's been on the Queen's Black Hair International Rocks. Good morning, Norma. Good morning, good morning.
It's been a very powerful and inspirational morning from all of you wonderful souls that are helping all of us to expand and to grow into our greatness. I just had one question, if they could could ask all of them. Does any of the spiritual coaches or even just people, do they believe in reincarnation and life after death? That we come back in with our souls, but in different bodies, and that some of the experiences that we're challenged with is challenges that has been left over from our previous lifetime. And sometimes that's where some of those things are coming from, deep down in our souls, that we need to clear up in this life that we're now experiencing in this physical body, because obviously soul is eternity. It never dies. Energy goes on forever and ever. It never dies. It can only change and conform. I just wanted to hear from some of our teachers this morning what they believe, because I think it's time that we address some of these issues, because a lot of us do come from a very Christian-based background that really believes in waiting for God to come and Jesus to come and save us, and also the hell and the heaven. And hell and heaven could be what we're experiencing right now on earth. I mean, right now we're experiencing a hellish situation, being locked down, coronavirus and all of these things. And the heavenly times is what we've left behind when we were living our best lives. So I'm just throwing that in there.
Okay.
Because that's part of my journey, and I just wanted to know if anybody shares that. And it's time that we have those discussions too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Teak, would you like to pick that up?
Yes. First of all, can I just say, Norma, come back to me. Where'd your face go, Sugar? I like to see your face. First of all, Norma, you are Sugar. You're channeling. So I think at the end of the day, you know within your divine essence the answer to that question, which is why you raised it. And I want to say thank you, because I don't believe in any accidents, and it's definitely a topic of discussion for us to dive into. So as we all say, we use those words, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and sometimes we flow words off of our tongue and not truly understand the deeper meaning to that. But if we're spiritual beings having a human experience, it is just that. Your soul has been experiencing this human platform time and time again. This is why when people talk about deja vu, or it just feels right, or we use these energy terms all the time. This don't feel good, I'm a spirit, and blah blah blah, or I feel like I've done this before. Of course we have. See, there's an element of a modality, a healing modality, and I don't like to get caught up in so many modalities out there. People do this, and this, and all of it is really tapping into, again, that word, that vibration energy, which is what we are. And as spiritual beings and being energy, we're all about creation. And every time we come back to this planet, you heard what I said a bit earlier. I was birthed back, and I was like, oh, I'm back here again? What's going on? What do I have to do this time? And the true essence is, we understand the word death. If I'm tell you this, a caterpillar doesn't die, it transitions into a butterfly. True or true? So when you come into this lifetime, whether it's hitting home, I know for some of you might feel it in your body like, oh, I kind of agree. Some of you like, I don't agree. That's okay, because the truth is that we're all waking up and we're remembering that divine essence of who we are, which is why when I do healings and we talk about mind, body, and soul, and we're hitting energy, we're talking about connecting things across that dimension of time. And those who come to my class on Wednesday hear me say across dimension and time, moving, because the things that you may bring into this lifetime, absolutely, Norma, absolutely, it can impact what's happening in this vibration. So there's something I do called theta healing. So we can agree that there's the subconscious and there's the conscious mind. Now let's go scientific for a second. We know we're not using all of our brain power, because if you were, you'll be moving mountains, literally. We're creating them, okay? And so the truth of the matter is that if we're not using all of our, we're using a tiny fraction, imagine that divine essence, that power. So when I'm diving into the subconscious and I'm looking at limiting belief system, etc., I need to know where that's sitting for you in your life. If you're feeling like, Teak, I don't feel like I'm worthy, right? That song that some people play because of the life experiences or traumas that they've had here on this planet. You might have been carrying that thing on a genetic level, on a history level, on a soul level. And what does that mean? That means in different timelines or places of existence, or even lifetimes, you may have had experiences where that was created to kind of evidence that for you, to make that real for you. It's, like Noosa said a bit earlier in her poem, the law of attraction, just like the law of gravity, it exists. And in every book out there, every religion, it says the same thing. What you speak, what you think comes into existence. So we understand this energy flow and this whole essence of how we're creating and how we can hold things in these traumas. And that's why it's important, even we were talking about energy levels, that we move and understand where something is sitting. So using that example about worthiness, if in other times that you've lived here on this planet that you've had those experiences, that would need to be cleared as well. Otherwise, when you transition, and if you choose your soul to create and come back to this timeline again, you are going to be in that same sort of rhythm. You know that, do you know, like the movies? See, the thing is though, beautiful souls, all these movies, and I know some of you, oh, this is a cool film. No, start paying attention. They are desensitizing you so that you can be prepared for what is truly to come out. Because if in all true, everyone's not ready to be like, yeah, we're just existing on all levels. We are. That's why I can travel at night. That's why, and some of you know, you say it all the time, my spirit, I felt this in my spirit. Yeah, that's why we feel things. We're existing across other places. You know, my cousin passed away in flesh a few weeks ago, and I transitioned to where she was, where everybody was in the house, and I'm not even in California, and I felt myself there. And then she brought herself right into my bedroom and she touched me, and I said, cousin, don't be touching me now. You know, physical. But do you understand, we're talking about spirit and energy, and it's opening up the mind that yes, that all of that is very well possible. And because we are constantly creating on a soul level, that is so important to acknowledge how things can be. And that's why, how things can impact us in this lifetime if you're bringing it from other lifetimes. And that's why you hear the statements like in African spirituality and in other spirituality as well. We need to pay homage to our ancestors. We are our ancestors. There is power in that. And there's power in that healing. And yes, it's true, as the world continues to wake up, you will remember that divine essence. So yes, Norma, thank you. I agree. I believe. And one last thing, there are studies right now, there's all things popping up about young kids being birthed, these crystal children that actually remember their lives. And it's messing parents up because they're going, you know, they're like, you're my second mom. And the mom's like, no, I birthed you in this lifetime. You don't tell me that, right? And they're like, no, my mom lives on this side of the world and did it. And when they are following this through, they're actually seeing that child is remembering that past life. Now, you can't make that up. That's true emotion. That's true energy. That's true experience. So that's my take on that. Beautiful soul. I hope that landed or resonated with some of you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Teak. Let me just see if there's any other questions. There's nobody wants to ask any questions. Well, on that note, we can start saying we can wrap up. Now, Sad, how did you get on with Antoinette? Did she come back to you?
No, she didn't pick up. So she's very, very terrible with her technology, as you can see. But no, we haven't got her back.
Oh, never mind. Technology can be a bit of a demon sometimes. So what we're going to do then, since there are no further questions, and I couldn't really see anything in the chat, you know, people have they've loved the session. You know, I'm just going to quickly see if I can pick up on any. Teak is talking about yes, love, the new moon energy. People love your vibration. Anything else here in the chat? I miss my Nadia. She's so good at the chat. Well, I can't really pick up anything that it's all love. That's the main thing that's coming through in the chat, you know, and everybody's thanking all the presenters. Lynette says, absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your talents. Angela McDonald, you know, saying you're powerful, you are beautiful, speak your truth. So it's been really, really quite a very uplifting morning, as I knew it would be. So I'm going to ask, what I am going to say in actual fact, we've got some of the presenters that were on in part 1 when we did Queen's Loving Ourselves, Mind, Body and Soul Zoom session. So Latika was here, Nelsa, you were here, wonderful Queens. Maz was here, Naomi Davison was here, Lorna Archer was here, Natasha Hales. So if Lorna and Patsy, if you could unmute yourself for a minute each, just to tell us about Sangoma, this new organisation that you're creating, which kind of latches into what Angela was saying in regards to creating this network of therapists, Black therapists, so people can seek help and interventions if they have trauma and things they need to do within their lives. So I don't know, it's Patsy here.
Hi, Joan. Hi. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. So can you quickly say who you are and quickly tell us just 1 minute or so about Sangoma, what you've created?
Yes, definitely. Hi, ladies. Hi, Teek, Nelsa, Angela, Claudine, Antoinette, all of you. Thank you so much for a wonderful, wonderful morning. I feel enriched. I cannot tell you. I feel like I can just start the day in such a positive way now. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, so thank you, Joan, for just giving me a moment. And I know I'm speaking on behalf of Lorna as well, but hopefully Lorna will have time to come on because she's got a client at 10:30. But Lorna and I'm a yoga teacher. I teach 2 different types of yoga. I teach Kundalini yoga and Hatha yoga. And I teach from that perspective that Spiritual Teak was talking about, truly from the mind, body and soul. It's not just a physical practice. There's much more to it than that. But Lorna and I, Lorna's a wellbeing therapist. We decided during lockdown that what we wanted to try and create was a platform for that was really to draw all of Black therapists, anyone working in the wellbeing industry, together in one place. And it was a way for us to support each other in our businesses, but also to kind of almost act as a hub so that wider industry could find us. We saw after what happened last year that, you know, as a people, we are coming through now. This is our time. This is our time. And it's really important that we both feel that we stand together. So I want to just, if there are other therapists on this platform, and I know there are, we want to encourage you and invite you to join us. We're in the very early stages. Sangoma is from Zulu. It's a South African word, and it means healer. And we kind of feel like the energy of that word, I'm very much a words person because my background is in writing and editing, but I'm very much about the rhythm and the energy around words. And we just feel that this is the right thing for us right now. So we're on Instagram, Sangoma Wellbeing Collective. And I'm sure I've taken down some details here of some of the wonderful people that have been speaking this morning that we're not yet in contact with, so we will be contacting them directly. So thank you very much, Joan. Last little thing I want to say is in a couple of weeks' time, we have a retreat, and it's literally just Friday the 25th of June to Sunday the 27th. And it's mornings, so it's from 8 until 11 on Friday and Saturday. And then in the morning on Sunday, we do an hour in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. And it's kind of it's called the Soul Renewal Retreat. And it will be a mixture of yoga, a mixture of meditation, journaling, time in a woman's circle so we can share and support one another. So if anyone's interested, we can offer a discount to the Queen's group. We had a couple of people sign up from the last session. We still have some people that are interested. So please, I'll put the details in the chat if anyone is interested in that. We'll give you a lovely discount.
Thank you very much for that, Patsy.
My pleasure. Thank you again, Joan.
It's about this, the new group, you know, because I always say, you know, together we are stronger. So, you know, Angela, you're up. Is it Nottingham you're based, Angela? Where are you based, my darling? Unmute yourself.
I'm actually based north of Watford. I know anywhere further than Watford is country, so I'm further up than Nottingham. I'm in Sheffield.
Ah, right, okay.
I'm in Sheffield.
Okay. So,
just want to say my hand was up because I wanted to say for anybody who's listening that there is a Black and Asian Therapist Network, and thank you to Patsy for sharing that. I just think the more we connect as a network with well-being and wellness for our people, then people know where to kind of like go directly. So there's a Black and Asian Therapist Network that was started by somebody in London, and if you go on there and you're looking for a therapist, you're guaranteed to kind of find a therapist that looks like you, whether it's Black male or Black female or Asian or whatever. So just wanted to kind of say that. I'll put it in the chat.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Angela. I've got one more question from, they come up as A. So A, could you put your camera on, say hello to us and where you're coming in from? Did you want to ask a question, A? No? Okay. So,
hiya. Sorry, Angela. I'm on the road. So very quickly, Angela's details, Queen Joan. I'm Althea. I'm from
Althea,
London.
welcome to the platform, Althea. Lovely to see you.
And I'm on my way out. So just very quickly, I didn't see Angela's details in the chat. So can you get Angela's details in the chat, please, Queen Joan?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Everybody,
Appreciate
all
that.
the presenters. So you didn't have a question as such?
Not a question, just I didn't see Angela's details.
Okay, okay. I'm sure it's in there.
And the therapist group that she just spoke about.
Okay, okay, fantastic.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, my darling.
Have a good day all. Bye.
And you take care. Right, any other questions? Well, we are going to wrap this session up.
Miss Joan, there's a question in the chat.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, it says, can people with dementia have therapy for trauma from PJ Salesman? And I'm assuming that's for Angela.
If you unmute yourself, Angela. Unmute yourself, darling.
Yeah, sorry. I'm actually not quite sure, because if someone is struggling with thinking, it may not be possible, but that's not to say that, you know, it's not being done. I've not known anybody ask that question before. My sense is initially is probably, I'm not sure the likelihood of being able to do that, because it's about connecting with someone in the moment with where they are and communicating for them to understand. So I'm not actually quite sure, but that's quite an interesting question. So I might just do some research on that and have a look at that. But thank you for asking, but I'm not really quite sure. I can't comment on it.
Sound therapy can help with anyone, whatever they are suffering. There's certain notes with the bow. For example, a B note is for the mind. And I've seen and heard of different things happening, but it's playing a specific rhythm for them to create a sense of calm. And some positive results can be from that as well, because the bows vibrate at such a frequency, is almost like rejuvenating the cells. So that might be something you can think about for them.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you very much for that, Queens. Right, Queen Latika, what is your parting message to guests on the platform?
What I would love for all these beautiful souls to take away is knowing that their divine essence is pure, and whatever experiences that they've had in this carnation, in this world, that their soul is pure and everything can be shifted. All it takes is a bit of belief and knowing that it's possible. And if you've seen people around you have demonstrated that it is possible, then it is possible for you too. And therefore, be in tune with your energy vibrations and continue to connect, ground to that love and light.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, my darling.
You're welcome.
Queen Claudine, are you there still? I'm sure you're there with us.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, my darling.
Yeah, my parting words would be just to remind, I guess the reason why I do what I do is because I believe that wellness is the foundation for our greatness, for us shining and coming into the world and being who we are, and you know, taking in all components of wellness. So just to remind people that, you know, you are the master of your health and well-being, whether it's your physical, spiritual, mental health, and for us to take ownership of that, obviously to consult with practitioners and professionals, but also to understand that you are the owner, and you are the most powerful component when it comes to taking care of yourself. So yeah, to remember that.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you very much, Queen Claudine. We appreciate it. We lift you up.
Thank you.
And that's what I like about it. You know, you all come from such different perspectives. So thank you for that. Queen Angela, what is your parting message to guests on the platform, my darling?
We all know our physical health is important, but without if you've got your physical health, that's great. But without your mind being looked after, protected, nourished, nothing else will be able to function, because we're using our mind 24/7 as we're here now. We've got to think, we need to communicate. It's so important to put your mind's health and your physical health as number one priority. And as Black women, we need, and I'm repeating it, we need to look after ourselves. We are the ones who do everything for everyone else, who get burnt out. So we need, and I'm going to keep repeating it, we have to look after ourselves. And your mental health is really, really important, particularly now in this time that we're in. And those of your children as well. If your mind's not good as a parent or a carer, as an adult, and you have children, they will be the product of that environment with you stressing and running around and everything else. So yeah, be mindful of your thoughts.
Elsa,
Thank you.
Queen Elsa.
Right. Do you want a parting message or would you like a last poem?
Both.
Both. Okay. So, okay, the parting message is this, and it's a poem, and it's going to say it in a poem. It's called So Beautifully Carved. You can close your eyes, you can listen in and just take a moment. And I'm going to slow down with this one. So beautifully carved, pure heart of an innocent soul, vulnerable, beautiful, covered in gold, graciously sculptured with intricate lines, carefully created by the finest hands, with an eye detail so visually defined. Every inch, every curve designed to feel so divine. Eyes so soft with a deep gazing stare, so striking, so focused, that even a blinded soul would feel naked, and nose so distinctive, not to be teased but embraced. The lines of her African lips, pencil defined so carefully drawn that the touch of her own finger would bring a sense or a know. The softness of her mouth, as her tongue gently moistens her pout, her jaw confidently raised to reveal her neck, thus so open to her vocally, speaking words of power and strength that she holds deep within. The rise of her chest as she uplifts her collarbone, revealing the V of her breast so invitingly alive to each breath, as she so sensually inhales and exhales. The roundness of each breast protruding through her bra, so inviting, unashamed from her lover's touch, or just his hot, steaming stare. Wow, slow down. Shall I go there? Her abdomen creating bumps of a road that flows down into two shapely lines, creating curves that are so beautifully carved and seen, so amazingly under the tightness of her bodycon dress, that any man or woman would want an opportunity to pull her close, just to feel the warmth of her breath, with an exciting, desirable, her hips separating, creating her pear-shaped silhouette, an apple bottom back that bounces out from the arch of a defined lower back. Wait, slow down. Am I going off track? Between those hips draws a V so definedly deep that only a man, deserving of her love and innocence, is able to stimulate through his words, his trust, stimulating her mind to connect with her femininity, bringing out the passion that transforms her, arouses her, and pleasures her. Her strength comes from the roundness of her thighs that can hold you, strongly embrace you, so lovingly accept you, openly invite you, yet carry a 70 kg weighted squat, making it look so effortless, yet weak to your touch and caress, that's often suppressed, just to keep you engaged in a love nest. Her body is a work of art, created for love within and without, not to be abused, destroyed, suppressed, frozen in shame. No one to blame but herself for believing society's expectation of perfection from a woman, a mother, a sister, a daughter, a partner, one day a wife. Or a conditioning as a child from what her queen mother passed on, to nurture, to love, to give, to protect, to be strong, and always, always take care of her appearance, the family, the home, the world, then herself. To stand tall regardless, never to show weakness. So she always does and gives her best, till one day her spirit demands for rest. In this moment, she only has a creator's guidance to give her strength. First she whispers, I'm exhausted. Then she says, I can't do this. till she shouts louder, I lost myself. With praying hands, nothing to lose, she surrenders, I need your help. He whispers, stop putting your body through the test. Then he says, child, it's time to rest. Finally shouting louder, it's time to wake up to your best. She believed she could, so she did. Begin to get to know her highest self by being selfless. She simply took the love she always craved, accepted she is loved by her creator, and discovered her worth. So here she is, unbreakable, still shakeable, beautiful, yet vulnerable, loving, yet humble, graceful, still wonderful, weak at times, yet resilient, not fully healed, but highly skilled, and how to care for herself, show her scars, yet never lie. She sees your greatness before you do. She feels your pain, yet nourishes you. She never gives up. She is like me. She is like you. She is your spirit, your goddess. She is the one who sees through you. You are all so beautiful. Remember your worth, walk in your feminine power, and always, always, always remember to be you. That is my passing message to you, queens. Take care.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Nelsa. Absolutely beautiful. What a way to end a session. Queens, this has been like no other session. I mean, part one was powerful and it just gets better and better, you know, and probably next year, if we're still living in a world of Zooms, we'll do something again. But absolutely amazing session, pure enlightenment, you know, the vibrations are just resonating through the platform. And this morning, it's just been about our minds, our bodies, our souls, our spirituality. Yeah, that upliftment, being on that higher plane, that higher level. And if we tap into the right interventions, whether it's be through therapy, through, you know, grounding, walking in the parks, vibing, you know, whatever you choose to do, but, you know, factor something into your life that's going to get you into that higher vibrational plane. We all need it, you know, and as we all know, the world has reset and people need to, in a way, change their thinking, set that time aside. Healing is so key to how we, you know, how we go on. Stress is the killer. We all know that stress is the killer. Yeah. So, Queens, we've had, you know, fantastic presenters on this morning. We are so honoured and so privileged to have all these wonderful queens in our community. We really are. Big, big thank you to Teak, Spiritual Teak. You have been amazing. You rock, queen. Beautiful Claudine, another amazing sister queen. First time on the platform, but you're coming back, queen. We want you back. We want you back. Amazing. Thank you. Angela, we are honoured. We are honoured. You have been absolutely wonderful this morning. Your story, you know, I'm going to watch it back on YouTube. Well, I did YouTube or Facebook. Well, it's live streamed through both. You know, I'm going to watch it back through your story this morning. Thank you for sharing such a deep and keeping it real, Queen. Keeping it real. You know, you didn't just get from A to Z just like that. You were on a journey and you were shining through all the trauma and the unhappiness, and you were taken to the brink. And thank God, you chose a different path and you're here now, shining, sharing your story. And if anything, you know, I'm hoping, you know, I'm sure you would have touched, you know, individuals on the platform this morning to perhaps take a different path, you know, and especially being in lockdown. And it's one of the main reasons why we do this, I do the session as well. I know there's a lot of people still in lockdown, they're on their own. And to tap into Queens this morning, this could be a lifeline for somebody. And if it helps anybody, like I always say, I say, thank you, Jesus. God bless you. Thank you so much for being on the platform with us. Nelsa, powerhouse, queen of love, and you resonate, love. I love those earrings, by the way. Very sexy. God bless you, my darlings. Thank you all. And the beautiful Antoinette Carter, aka Queen Esther, Nature's Element, nature coach. I'm so sorry we couldn't have her on the platform, but hopefully, you know, we'll get the internet connection and what have you sorted out, and she will be back. She will be back. So a few quick announcements, as I said before in the beginning. To hear about future Queens walking group events, please follow us on Eventbrite. So when the notification comes out, you'll get that email and you can book. So this Zoom has been recorded on YouTube. It's been live streamed through YouTube. It's also been live streamed through Facebook. We Love Health and Wellbeing page on Facebook. So if you've missed it, you can hook us up there again. We've also got the WhatsApp group. If you want to be part of the WhatsApp group, it's not now how for chatting. Yeah, it's a broadcast. So I'll just post things in there to do with you know, what we're doing and forthcoming events. So just to remind everybody, we have our first outdoor Black business event, which I'm so excited about. It's the Queens of Rudy J Media Summer Cultural Market, and a lot of the businesses that you've seen on the platform, they will be in Beckenham Place Mansion, in Beckenham Place Park, which is in Beckenham, BR3 1S for sugar, Y for Yankee. Come on out, come and support them. Saturday, 3rd of July. We've actually got 3 markets. So the first one is on the 3rd of July. We've got a second one on Saturday, the 7th of August. And we've also got one on Sunday, the 29th of August, which is the bank holiday weekend. You can book tickets via Eventbrite. And Rudy, what's the name of the thing on Eventbrite? Is it Queens and Rudy J Media? If they want to book tickets for the markets?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Queens and Rudy J Media, yeah, and Eventbrite.
Yes, if you go into media, if you go into Eventbrite, you can book your ticket. Everything is free because we love free, because we want you to come out and support our Black businesses. And as I said before, we're also going to be hosting a business conference seminar at Africa Fashion Week, 13th and 14th of August. And it's going to be amazing. Looking for vendors, anybody in the hair, beauty, fashion industry, please get in touch with me, because it's going to be held at the Freemasons in Covent Garden, and that's going to be a session and a half. Absolutely wicked. I can't wait. The building alone, it's just, oh, the bomb. So I'm really looking forward to that. So if we haven't got any more questions, have we? I'd now like to give people an opportunity. We've got all these wonderful speakers on the platform, and everybody's very quiet. So on that note, I'm going to wish you all a lovely, lovely Saturday. Enjoy whatever you're going to be doing. And hopefully, well, I should be back next week. I'm not sure what I'm doing next week. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to be inspired. When I go for my walk, something will drop into my spirit. I'm going to be inspired. So on that note, have a wonderful Saturday, everybody. Love you all. And thank you for being on the Queens We Rock Queens platform. Yes. Have a fantastic Saturday, whatever you're going to do. Peace out. Yes, I'm going to stop recording.
Recording stopped.